Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to PCM22 Dragons. This is episode 15, and we have, I think for the first time in this series, we have an all racing episode. First up, though, is the Langkawi race. Now, it's a stage race over a week in length, but it's all sprint stages, -1. And the one is entirely the decisive moment that determines the race because, well, it's one mega climb with the finish line at the top. 21 kilometers in length, 7% average gradient with a max at 17, and that max coming near the peak. So with that in mind, it's all about today's race for the overall. So we're putting everything in on this one and seeing what we can do. Of course, our arch nemesis, our favorite enemy, is here. Of course, Stown Minute is here. And even though the entirety of the field for this race are Asian teams, which is awesome, in the top 10, 6 or 7 of them are all foreign-born riders outside of Asia that are the premier designated player on the teams. They're the big rider that these guys have around them. Now, other than those 6 or 7 guys, 3 of the riders in the top 10, they're my guys. They're my guys. We have a chance. We are never, ever listed in the top 10 favorites. Ever. We are here. So let's hope that that combination can pull something together. It's January 31st, February 1st. It's still the very beginning of the season, and most riders are not at high fitness levels. Every single one of my 6 guys came here with an objective. As Evans is attacking, let's see if Evans going to be at 75. He could be a threat early on. Let's see if there's a response by somebody else. There's enough preparation to this. Nobody's on the fitness peaks yet because it's too early in the season. And so with no fitness peaks, but guys all on 97, 98, 99% fitness, and the objective, we've got good race day condition. Brandon No has a -3, but outside of that, everybody else has panned out to a decent net positive on the day. We're +2 as a team. I mean, it's neutral, but it's on the green side of where you want to be, and that's Evans out front, isn't it? It is. But for now, Flores is doing the chasing, and beating those foreign nationals, beating those non-Asian riders is going to be a challenge. But for now, Brandon knows the only one feeling it, and the other guys are in decent shape for this race. And we're already down to 55 in the peloton, and with only 15 seconds to Evans, he's not a threat. And the group is thinning out. Brandon No is getting tired. We've got 15k to go, though. A lot of climbing left to do, and most of the guys, the key guys, the 3 leaders, are still fresh as the group thins out. Current yellow jersey wear has been dropped, and Evans has been caught. Down to 46 now. Comes the next attack. Christian Rodriguez is more of a threat, but not a major threat. Let's see if somebody responds. Are they still chasing? As long as he's not... There you go. 10 more riders get dropped, but he's only at 23 seconds and is not in a threatening position yet. Brandon No is going to begin to fade. He was protecting Hossein Zada, who we do want to protect. Alpasav is the one who is going to lose protection, so Lieberman is now going to protect Hossein Zada. And see you later, Brandon No. Okay, let's also start to up the effort a little bit. I mean, this is all happening at a 76. This is not an intense climb right now, but there's still 13k to go. Tominaga, gel, and Lieberman, gel. We may sprint train this at some point. Probably we'll sprint train this at some point, but we are trying to wait. The next attack is now 3 guys, including Stown Minute. There's your time to answer. Mr. Favorite is going on the attack, and we want to negate that. Is it going to be a Hossein Zada, 81 or 80? 76 stamina, 79 Hossein Zada. Hossein Zada is the favorite today. New man Alpasov is in. We've got Lieberman. We've got Taminaga. Taminaga is going to respond, and we are going to climb at an 85. It's 11.9k. It's a long ways to go yet. We do not need to catch these guys immediately. In fact, we are catching them too fast. Let them be out front. We just want to be close behind this. Ah, we already caught him. Didn't mean to. Didn't mean to. But nobody else is responding right now, so we are very much in the position where we have to do something. But you see Lieberman holding out. 9.7. Alpasov gel. And we will pause when he takes over. I don't want to waste that 99. There we go. Good climber, so we'll ease off a little bit. Flores trying to get back up in control. Jess Scottson out front, down to 22 riders. And you're very much seeing a thinning field now. And more, it's the foreign nationals that are left. It's not the Asian riders. There's not very many Asian riders left in this field as of right now. And you're seeing another group getting dropped here. Another 4, 5, 6 guys right at the back hanging on just barely as Alpasov continues to control. 6.4k now. Down to 12. Down to 12. We just split off another half. And we're seeing another attack, but for now, this is fine. This is okay. This is how we want to run it. 5k to go. We're going to start to speed up. Gel for Yamato. Down to 9, chasing 3, last 12 in contention, and we've got 3 of them. Got ourselves a top 10. 4k to go. Alpasov, 85, it's time. It's time. Alpasov going at his maximum speed here. Yamato's gel has kicked in. Down to a front 2. Final gel there. And now we really start to push. Yamato leading out Hossein Zada. Final 8. Alpasov's gonna get dropped. Final 4. Cluckers, Evans. We've beaten Stound-Middet. We finally have beaten Stound-Middet. Yamato is nearly done. 1.7. Hossein Zada. Oh, man. Oh, it's a front 2. It's a front 2. 42 seconds out ahead. Hossein Zada still getting the lead out. 1k to go. 1k to go. 46 seconds ahead. They are not going to catch us. Oh my gosh, we're going to win this thing. And a lot of road art is freaking out right now. 900 meters. Hossein Zada at a 59. Is that enough to push out front? Nope, push a little harder. 500 meters. Hossein Zada. 300 meters. Sprint. Take all the time you can get. We're going to win, folks. We're finally going to get a win. Langkawi is going to be ours. Hossein Zada with the win and Yamato with the 1-2. And we have counting 45 seconds plus here. 50 seconds plus 55. We're going to have over a minute's lead. That is going to be an overall win because in the 4 remaining stages of this, it's nothing but sprints. And you're seeing a healthy gap. Cluckers, Evans take 3rd and 4th. All the 4 nationals come in. Alpasov is the next one. Stound-Middet only 10th today, the entirety of the top 10. Fujimoto is the first Asian rider outside of our team to cross the line. But yes, a 1-2 finish. Can this be a boost? Well, I suppose we'll find out at the end of the race. I don't think it's going to be HC-wise, but it's still going to be a big win. Here are the standings with time bonuses overall. So Hossein Zada leads from Yamamoto by 13 seconds with Cluckers over a minute down. Evans at a minute 34. A group at 149, including Alpasov, make up the 5th to 8th place. Rodriguez, who tried to go too early, at 217. Down mid, it just didn't have it today. And I think a big part of that is your early season form. Even though we only had plus twos, most of these guys are coming in too early in the year, don't have the form. They're sitting on zeros, they're sitting on minus ones. And for us, the combination of plus twos and threes was enough to see out a strong performance and actually win a race. Been hanging on to this one since the beginning of the year. Updated evolution of potentials. By the way, it's February 1st. So Taraskin, who last year they dropped him to a 3 for his overall, back to a 4 for him. Kawabata from a 4 to a 4.5. I believe that's one of our development team guys. Chulinbat, one of our development team guys, was a 4, down to a 3.5 for him. And then Liam Allen from a 4.5 down to a 4. So other than Taraskin getting a +1 in his overall, not a great evolution of potentials on that one. A number of Asian sponsors coming in on whether they're going to be back next year. This Chinese one will prolong. Matrix Power Tag of Japan is not. That actually does make it an available sponsor. I've had that sponsor before and they paid quite well. Go for Gold Philippines will prolong. However you pronounce that one, will also prolong. It's good and bad, right, if they don't prolong, because one, it makes those sponsors available to us and we've got a shortage of sponsors out there. Two, you want competitive Asian teams out there, a place for these guys to exist and develop and get better. Final stage, final standings. Hossein Zada, Yamamoto, Alpasov keep the exact same positions. No changes in the top 10 whatsoever. Hossein Zada is out of Iran. They have a 2-4. 2 training structure, 4 popularity. This is the highest profile race. It's an HC category. It is not upper end. But if there's any hope of success at continental level, the only 2 ways of doing so is 1, winning the highest profile races we can be a part of. This is one of those. This is not just winning a stage, but it is winning the overall. He has claimed the overall. That's the only way we could do it at continental level, or from winning so many races that you have a high super prestige and you boost training. But if there's going to be a popularity boost, this is the only way we can do it from continental. Let's find out. It'll be on tomorrow's mail. If there's a boost to a low level nation, could see an HC doing it. And there is no boost. So we have not gotten a boost. No continental races will see us find a rise. So either we're going to have to really focus in on one rider and win a lot of races and grab a ton of super prestige points for them to boost training structure that way. And the lower the training structure, the easier the threshold to boost it, you would think. So it wouldn't take as much in terms of a score at the end of the season to see that kind of boost in trading structure for the nation. It looks like it is going to take a Continental Pro move. That doesn't mean we're going to suddenly stop racing for the year, but out of the 5 races for the year, not necessarily going to be focusing in on each and every one of them like Taihu Lake. We've done that enough times. We'll bypass that. Japan Cup, I still like to wrap the season up with that one, but we have Norway and Denmark. We have not been involved in either one of those races yet. Next up is Norway. It's taken me a while as we were just racing February 1st. Now it's May the 1st, and I have spent the majority of a day not only quick simming, but I think I've spent probably 4 hours going through rider by rider by rider by rider and looking. And unfortunately, as I enter the dossiers, there isn't some massive standout 6-star, 5-star, mega prospect this year. There are still some good ones, but there's nothing major out there. And then looking internally, the team's going to get a lot smaller. I mean, we only have 12 returning guys, which is definitely less than the last few seasons. Out of 10 expiring contracts, I've done something new. I've done something different, and this has been another hour of time that I've committed to this. I am building out my own spreadsheet of the team. What their salary is, how old they are, what their current ability is, what their potential ability is, what their discipline is, and what is their ability and potential within the discipline, and their how much money they make and when their contracts expire, and if they are expiring, those 10 guys, what I want to do with them, making those decisions earlier. 6 of those expiring contracts I'm already set for release. Not interested in bringing them back. Only one of those 6 would I even consider under the right circumstances, and that's Taminaga. 22 is 4-star mountain / puncher, but really he's just a mediocre puncher. He's like a 4-star puncher. He doesn't have a whole lot of potential left either. I don't even think he's going to hit 4.5. So he's as good as he's going to get for the most part, and doesn't really offer us anything. On the other hand, there's 2 guys that don't offer a ton, except that there isn't much else out there beyond those 2 guys, and that is in the classics department. And at some point, we've got to compete in a classics. We've got to have some guys that have a cobble rating, even if they're not necessarily the best. And there's still decent prospects in those areas. Therefore, for minimum salaries, hang on to those 2. But then there's 2 expiring contracts that are going to cost us some money and could be a big chunk of what we end up spending, and that is to retain Yamamoto, 30 now, top climber, easily one of our 2 best guys. And then the other best climber, also with an expiring contract, and that's Hossein Zada. So Hossein Zada and Yamamoto both expiring, both on 4.5. Both are going to cost some extra. I've set an initial kind of ceiling for how much I'm willing to pay. It's less for Yamamoto since he's 30 and doesn't have any more potential. Hossein Zada does, so I'm definitely willing to spend more on Hossein Zada. Let's hope that between now and August the 1st, either of those 2 get better. Yamamoto, I don't think you have to worry about that. Hossein Zada, I'm very worried by that, but then again, if he becomes amazing, guaranteed a World Tour team will want to pick him up, and maybe he goes off and wins a breakaway stage in a Grand Tour and does what we need him to do as a result. So wouldn't be the worst thing. If he's that good, somebody's going to pick him up and we don't have to worry about his future. As a team, though, by May the 1st, we've seen 2 upgrades for the good. One, Schechter, our big 6-star sprinter prospect, is now 5 stars overall, and he's still only 5 stars as a sprinter. Will he, if he maxes out, get the 5.5? He'd certainly get a couple more tenths anyway. I don't know if he'll get much higher, but he's just made himself indispensable and our future sprinter. Schechter, our current sprinter over Oscar. Oscar might have top speed +1 compared to Schechter, but with 78, 76, 78, 72, 81, and excellent recovery, you're looking at a guy who can go out on a multi-stage race and stay fresh and do it at a much higher level than anything that Oscar is capable of. So he is massively better compared to Oscar, even though they have the same overall rating. We've also had 2 new 4.5-star guys, Dye and Lieberman. Lieberman is one of our other major prospects. He's a 5.5-star GC guy. He's not the best prospect that we have, but he's definitely up there, and we're seeing lots of mid-70s or low 70s now. He's 1 or 2 more upgrades from being an essential part of the team. And as we're still continental in the world of who wants to sign for us, well, it's still a small world after all. Most of them have no interest, but there's no 6-star guys in Asia anyway, so with our restrictions, doesn't matter. And we have reached the Tour of Norway, 6 stages. 2 of them are punchy, but they are punchy to the point where there's a very good chance that the sprinters will survive, that they make it through that. So for this one, that means it's down to the sprinters and down to surviving that one particular stage. So we're going to go twofold on our strategy here. Twofold in that I'm going to try to gain time in breakaways with up to a couple of our potential sprinters that we have, and then focus on trying to win stages or get podiums on stages to ultimately get enough time to compete for and maybe do something about this race overall. That's the goal anyway. We'll see what we can do. Now, not new man, well, he's been with us since last year, but new sprinter, Schechter, who just hit 5 stars the day after he hit 5 stars. Literally the next day, he had a fall and broke his neck, actually. So, fracture to his neck that ruled him out for about 7 weeks. He just returned to training last week. He is here at this race, but his fitness level is very low, has not rebounded yet. Boy, they are not liking these 4 guys being in the break. No way that it's Die. I mean, Die is not a threat. Die is not a threat. Why would they chase Die? Now, they weren't chasing here initially. 4 guys off the front. Right now we're looking at standard stuff here. Oscar has a +3. And why is he so far back? But maybe because his flat rating sucks that bad. But anyway. And again, they're chasing standard stuff, really. Standard stuff for me on this difficulty level. Trying to get in the break with any rider with any amount of quality. Other teams, nobody cares. Nobody bats an eyelash, but you try to put somebody forward. Anyway, Lieberman. Protect him. Prasad. Go ahead and protect Schechter. We've got Abdul and we have Chu. Neither one is going to be a sprinter. Die is the 3rd guy, and that's why we've put him in the break. They are a minute 14 away now and have 5K to the first sector. We might just back off at that point if the field doesn't really set up, but it looks like they might have finally sat up a bit. 3K to go. So we're gaining at least 1 second here, as we're clearly, well, maybe not. There's one guy 20 seconds back. 1K, and sprinting. Clearly a better sprinter than those guys, and that's good. That's very good. Easing off, and recovering. Oh no, it's still it's still glitching. After half a day, it's still glitching. 5 minutes ahead of the peloton. Wow, they've really sat up. Peloton already taking an interest in the gap that we have established, so that may not hold a lot longer, and let's hope these guys don't push too hard going for that KOM. They didn't. Okay, so we're going to easily recover, get back up there with them without expending much energy, which is ideal. 83K left to go here on the stage now. Coming up on the second bonus sector of the day. We're going to look to gain another 3 seconds. That'll give us 6 overall. 6K to go. We'll slow down a bit. Just so we're ready in case something happens. A coming together between Die and we could still get second here. We could still get second. But we're 2 minutes down. So now we're looking for 2 seconds instead of 3, but that's okay. 5 seconds gained is 5 seconds gained. Oh gosh, Abdul just crashed. Oscar just crashed. Okay, setting up. Now that we're way behind that guy, we're going to come back to the field and focus on the race remaining. Abdul is off back. Oscar is here as well. Abdul needs to start working. Pull this back. How far back are we? 2 minutes down. Oof. Let's send Lieberman back there as well. And Dye already coming back. We'll get Chu to protect him. Now the reason for doing that is we want to make sure he does not lose any time, and because he was 2 minutes down on the front guy and only a minute ahead of the group, it made perfect sense to just sit up at that point. And we're back in. Okay. And of course, as always, when somebody capable suddenly takes their foot off the gas a little bit, or crashes, suddenly the field wakes up. I go from cruising along to pushing much harder. We do have some undulation through here. You can see how we're blinking red when we weren't before the crash. But there's the back. There is the back of the peloton. We're not far away now. Oscar, get up, follow these guys. Lieberman, follow Abdul. Abdul, bring us forward. Nearly in contact. Oh, and then the field starts to split. Now we're firmly in contact with this group, which has a whole bunch of riders from the same team there struggling. Job's not done yet, because you can see how it's yo-yoing for sure right now. 45k to go. Plenty of time to get up there. But plenty of time for this to go horribly wrong. 2 riders left off the front. They came back together. They have a minute and a half advantage, and the front group is not pushing quite as hard right now. Abdul, not the only one pushing to chase. It's actually conserving a little bit of energy for him as others are driving hard. Down to 18k. Schechter is a regular sprinter, but Oscar is not. But with a good race day condition, he's definitely in better shape today. Once we get up over this hill, we are going to want to establish, get the guys back up to the front. And now with 11k, now we can establish our sprint chain and get on with the program. As the sun's trying to get on with its own program and take me out. Dye is in good enough shape that he can still be our lead out man. Abdul not able to get out front, caught up in traffic. We got blocked off. There was plenty of space, and Abdul was the only one at the back end of it. As the sun's trying harder and harder to block your view on the face cam. Abdul finally gets us out front, and Lieberman takes over. 5k to go. That's gel territory for everybody else. 4k to go. Lieberman, what are you even doing, buddy? 99 effort. How are you way back here? Jeez. Chu. Full sprint now. But we are in terrible shape in terms of positioning. Prasad's not a sprinter. We need to get on with Schechter, 1.8. Schechter emerges. Dies in a terrible position. Can Schechter get a top 3? He's not going to get a top 3. No idea. I didn't see it. I was looking at my top left corner. I have no idea how, as Abdul peeled off to make way for Lieberman, I do not know how Lieberman lost 10 bike lengths and went from the front of the field ready to take over, because Abdul had just gotten us there. Lieberman takes over and should have been continuing right on, to him getting absolutely eaten alive by those around him and went backwards. I didn't look at what his flat rating was. Was he really that bad that others overtook him that easily? I don't know. I don't know what happened on that occasion, but it messed up the entire setup for coming in. Schechter almost was able to emerge out of there with something, but no, at least we got some time from Dye on this stage. Despite a poor finish to the first stage, we're still in good shape with our plan B, which is to get Dye and or Schechter into breakaways to chip away and pick up time and then hang on to it and not lose it. So with Dye, we did so successfully today, and that puts him in third overall. If not for his crash, we could have had him equal with Thomas Barta, but that's okay. It's not a bad place to be at this point, because you chip away at that more than one stage, as long as Brustenga is not claiming multiple stage wins. Let's look at that competition around us, though. The guys that have taken time, 78.80 with a 78 flat. That's going to be tough, but he does only have 68 stamina. There's a couple stages and a 63 mountain. There's the couple punchy stages where he could lose time. Bart 81.76. Woo, that's going to be tough. Tough to beat. The breakaway is going to be the best way, really. I think our plan B might be the best option for us. Slavik 77.80. De Boer, he was in the break. Good flat rating for him. So that means the other guy from the break was dropped. Yep, Amine. Amine was the other one, and he's 214 down. He was the only one to lose time today. All right, well, not the best start, but certainly not a bad start, as we do have somebody in a podium position at this point. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I have 5 stages upcoming, and we will focus entirely on those 5 stages for the next episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.